Good morning, Tahmina Khan is here. In this video, I will explain to you the concept of hypothesis test and confidence interval with the help of a question which came in CIE paper June 19, variant 7 to question 5. And it is the syllabus of A-level mathematics, paper 7 S2. Before I begin, you can see on the top my website address. I will recommend do visit. You will find many useful things over there. And this is my blog address, TKMaths.blogspot.com. Here I have posted free videos I have made so far. So let's begin with today's topic. So the question is that manufacturer of a certain type of biscuit. He claims that 10% of the packets include a free offer printed on the packet. So 10% are including, this is his claim. And Jyoti suspects that true proportion is less than 10%. And then he plans to test the claim by picking up or looking at 40 randomly selected packets. And he said that if the number which includes the offer is less than 2, he will reject the manufacturer's claim. Right? So I'm repeating the question. Basically, manufacturers are saying that it is 10% of packets which are including free offer printed packets, and Jyoti suspect no, it is less than 10%. So to test his claim that it is less than or not, he picks up 40 randomly selected packets and said that if less than 2 includes the free offer packets, then he will refuse or reject manufacturer's claim. So first question is a state suitable hypothesis. Now, here you need to understand that what comes in or confuses at times a student, that what suitable hypothesis, how many suitable hypotheses are there? So you need to recall there are 3 suitable hypotheses which are part of the A-level syllabus: binomial proportion, Poisson mean, or z-test, which is normal, right? Mean. So it is one of these. So if you look at the question, he's talking about proportion. Hence, you will only write that null hypothesis such that proportion equals to 0.1. 0.1 is 10%. And alternate hypothesis is less than 1. So this is manufacturer claim and this is the suspect thing. So basically, if you can recall, null hypothesis is basically a commonly accepted fact. So right now it is about the manufacturer's claim, right? And other than that, everything is alternative hypothesis. Now I'm writing it less than because he was suspecting that it is less than 10%, right? And whenever we are testing this claim, we define the variable. Like in this case, what is my variable x? It is about the number of packets which include a free offer printed. Okay, so let's see the next question, and that's why it has only 1 mark. Next part of the question is saying find the probability of a type 1 error. Now you need to recall what is a type 1 error, because only then you can find its probability. So in this question, if you notice, there was no significance level. So basically your significance level is your type 1 error, because that is the probability at which you reject the null hypothesis, but in fact it is true. The type 1 error is made when the null hypothesis is rejected, but actually in fact it is true. So it is that percentage you calculate. Okay. In this question, it is said that out of 40 packets, if less than 2 packets offer free printed, then the manufacturer's claim will be rejected. So what does it mean? That you just have to calculate the probability for x less than 2. That's all. And it is a case of binomial, right? So you know the binomial parameters. It is n and p, right? So you will calculate probability of x less than 2, which will be x equals to 0 and x equals to 1. This is what you will calculate. Now in this case, what is your n? Of course 40. And p is null hypothesis, whatever you write here. You know what is the reason for that? Because you are calculating the probability considering this if h naught is true. So if null hypothesis is true, so based on that, you perform your test. And then you define your rejection criteria, which is already defined in this question, that if probability will be less than 2 packets out of 40 packets, then it will be your rejection criteria. So that's why you're writing the perimeter. X of binomial 40 is n and 0.1 is your p. So after this, I'm simply applying the binomial formula. You remember the binomial formula? What was it? If you don't remember, it was n c r p power r q power n minus r, right? And this was when you're calculating probability for the variable x equals to r. Remember? So I'm applying this formula. My n is 40. My r in this case is 0. P is 0.1 power r, so it is power 0. And q is, you must know, p plus q equals to 1, right? So this is how I have calculated 1. 1 minus 0.1 is 0.9 power 40. So I'm simply applying x equals to 0, x equals to 1, this formula of binomial, and calculating my probability. So it is 8% approximately. If you multiply it by 100, it will be 8.05%. So probability of type 1 error is this. Now, next part of the question is saying, on another occasion, Jyoti looks at 80 randomly selected packets and finds that exactly 6 include the free offer. So out of 86 have those offer. Now you have to calculate 90% confidence interval for the proportion. Now, what is the confidence interval? What do you understand by it? Now let me show you with the help of a diagram. Now, and you know, when we are having a large number of n of sample size, then it is approximately equals to normal distribution. So that's why I'm making this bell shape here. Okay, so now 90% confidence interval, because it is always symmetrical from the center. So this is the percentage. And when he's saying calculate, it means you have to find out these boundaries. So what are the proportions limit within which, if my answer will be following, I will say I'm 90% confidence interval that proportion of packets include in this offer, include in it, right? So now if central is 90%, remaining is 10%, which will be divided equally into two parts, 5% here, 5% here, because altogether it is 100%. Now we know that Z table, normal standardized table, read the proportion less than. So if I know this Z value here, so all the probability here will be 95%. Agreed? If I find out the Z value here, right? Whatever my Z value is here, then same will be my Z value here, but with negative sign. And this is easy to find out because this whole is 95%. So if, looking at the table, I look at the Z value for 0.95%, because 95% is 0.95, then let me just hide this for the time being. Okay. So that you can focus on this side only. Okay, so it will be 0.95. So Z value is 1.645. I hope you know how to read the Z value. Else you can see my normal distribution video and you will find it. So now we have to find out the confidence interval for population proportion, P. So you need to know the formula for that. And the formula is this, right? Proportion of a sample, PC, PQ represented by total number, and this is Z value, right? Now, if you know, probability of sample plus Z, this thing gives you B value, and when you minus it, it gives you this value. So my P is 6 over 80, because out of 80 packets, only 6 had that offer. So my P is 6 over 80. Q is 74 over 80, because 80 minus 6 is 74. and n is 80. So this formula will be given to you. You need to plug in values in it. Okay. I substituted the value of P of S, substituted the value of Z here. And now this is the proportion confidence interval I'm getting. So this A is my, if I look in the percentage form, it is 2.66% or 2.7%, I can say. And this is 12.3%, right? So this is how you will calculate your approximate 90% thing. Now, last part of the question is that use your confidence interval to comment on manufacturer's claim. What was the manufacturer's claim? He said 10%, right? In the question it was given, manufacturer's claim was 10%. But what limits are we getting? 2.6% to 12%. So what do you think? What will you say about his claim? Is it falling in between this limit? Yes, it is coming in between this limit. 10% comes in between 2.6 to 12.3%. So what does it mean? It means his claim is right, and that's why what? We will accept his claim. We will not reject his claim. And this statement is very important to write at the end with respect to the context. Because if you look at the marking scheme, you get 1 mark on it, right? So thank you very much for watching this video. In the next video, I'll explain you another question of S2. So these are little challenging questions for students. If you have learned something, please press like, subscribe, and bell icon. You will get the notification of my new videos. And if you have any comment, if you want to suggest anything, please do so. Share it with your friends. They may also learn from this video. Take care. Allah Hafiz.